Hey guys, Marstingan here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so earlier today we had the announcement in the news for Global that there will be server maintenance on the 3rd of October, starting at 4 PM PST, which I believe is like midnight for me over here in the UK. This should herald the coming of the next celebration and the next Dokkan Fest for Global. So this is literally like a week away, or just less at this point. So obviously the 350 million download celebration is coming to a close. Now, I'm interested to see if there is still going to be one final like thing at the end, maybe just as like a gift to everybody, because we saw that Bulma support memory in the data download files, but we didn't get like a new story event or anything to actually get that support memory. So we don't know what's going on with that. Obviously the LR Ginyus, neither of them got an easy A. That's obviously not something now that, if it's not in the data already from a data download, that's not something that they're probably going to spring on us right at the end of the celebration. But I am very interested to see what's going to happen with that support memory. So when we look at the schedule for JP, we should be looking at the AGL Kid Gohan as the next upcoming celebration, because we had the GT stuff. Obviously that was on both versions at the same time, aside from the LR Shadow Dragons. All of this stuff happened on both versions at the same time, so obviously that threw the schedule out a little bit. But we've already had Tapion. We still need to get these Awakenings from the World Tournament. And then of course we had the festival before that on JP was Videl, which Global has obviously had as well. So we're getting down into this lower part here. And so the Gohan celebration has a lot of stuff packed into it that we'll talk through. A lot of stuff, in fact. I'm actually very excited. I'm really hoping that this is what we get next, because after Gohan on JP, it was the LR Gogeta and then the Tanabata stuff. And so this will be, or should be, December for Global, if they don't change the way they normally do these things. So with Gohan dropping at the beginning of October, that celebration should go on for a couple of weeks. Heroes will be in November sometime. So there definitely is a gap somewhere, because remember, Global, after having had the GT celebration at the same time as JP, we would normally get that celebration in November, I believe before Heroes. And obviously that's a gap that needs to be filled. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that, because Gogeta and the new Gotenks, who's really, really good for Super Battle Road, that should be in December. Pretty much, I say guaranteed, that's when they've done it the last couple of years for the Tanabata stuff. That obviously brings the LR Janemba with the second part, which should be near the end of December, potentially beginning of January, depending on how that's staggered. And then, of course, the next Dokkan Fest after that was the STR Super Vegeta. So they definitely could have Gohan, then go into Super Vegeta, and then go into Heroes, and then the Tanabata. So that is a pretty stacked end-of-year lineup, because obviously STR Super Vegeta is a crazy unit. I would almost go as far as to say that he is a must-summon. I'll do a video going into more detail about him and his banner and everything once we get closer to the time. So we should see an in-game spoiler a little bit before the data download, potentially, about whether it is going to be Gohan, but it should be Gohan, because whilst, you know, the schedule does change a little bit here and there, they have been roughly sticking to the same sort of time schedule. So everything that comes with the Gohan stuff, obviously for me, the most important thing, and we've been talking about this for a long time, is we finally get new Super Battle Road stages with the Gohan celebration. So we get the category stages 41 to 50, which is Exploding Rage, Revenge, Team Bardock, Inhuman Deeds, Earthlings, Special Pose, Margin Power, Rapid Growth, All Out Struggle, and Saviors. So obviously your boy is excited for those to come out so we can start doing the no item runs. As always, I will do team building guides for all of these as well. Some of these are going to be certainly a lot of fun. Some of them will be a bit difficult. Obviously for us on Global, things like Team Bardock has gotten a lot easier with the Easy A for physical LR Bardock. So I feel like the no items run for this is going to be pretty straightforward. I have been link leveling the Team Bardock units as well. So since, you know, I'm all about the Bardock, I might do this one first, try and get this one done as the first one. And then obviously for us, things like rapid growth, like when that came out on JP, obviously we now have the Gohan and Krillin LR that will definitely be very useful for this. So I am very, very much looking forward to this. Hopefully, even if it's not Gohan and they flip the script a little bit and we do get the Super Vegeta, which, I mean, personally, I would rather have Super Vegeta than Gohan, but, you know, if it's going to be Gohan, I want them to keep the whole celebration intact. So definitely want these Super Battle Road stages. But the AGL Gohan, I see people talk about him a little bit on Twitter from the JP side. He is kind of slept on because Heavenly Events is not a great category. It's another one of these new categories that you probably won't really use all that often. It's got an interesting mix of units. Again, we'll talk about this in more detail in a video once it's confirmed that he is actually the one that's coming. But he does have a 170 across the board leader skill. There are some good units on there. And then he has Bond of Master and Disciple as a secondary lead. But he infinitely stacks defense on super, does immense damage and has a medium chance to stun. So very good super attack effect overall. He also has a unit super attack, which greatly raises attack for 1 turn. And does still does immense damage, but gets a high chance to stun. So even more damage, higher chance to stun, still stacking his defense. You get that when there is a Piccolo or Krillin on the team, so they don't have to be on the rotation, which is good. And then, yeah, he's got very solid defense. He gets his attack when performing a super. He gets additional attack and defense when there's another Heavenly Events ally in the same turn. And then he gets an additional 58% attack. Guaranteed stuns the enemy when performing a super after receiving an attack. So you can stack up his defense and then have him in slot 1. And then he's very useful for that. And then he's also useful to use on a bunch of other teams because he also has all allies key +3 and defense 58%. 58% defensive support, so that's really good. And then he has an active skill that recovers 30% HP, guards all attacks for 1 turn, and all allies defense 20% for 2 turns. So bear in mind, that stacks on top of this as well. And that can be activated when HP is 58% or less once only. There's no turn restriction, so that means in things like Super Battle Road, if you're going into the second fight and you're on 58% or less HP, you can use this straight away on turn 1. So then because he would guard and have all this extra defense, you can put him in slot 1, get hit, get guaranteed stun. So he's really, really good. This unit is actually incredible. People don't talk about him enough. I guess a lot of people aren't really bothered about the Garlic Jr. saga and all that stuff, or Kid Gohan in general, but he's very good and his animations are good. He's also, of course, on some good teams. Hybrid Saiyans, Goku Family, Planetary Destruction, like... He can be used as a support unit for all of those teams because his ally support doesn't differentiate between Super and Extreme. So he's really, really good. And then his side banner unit is Garlic Jr. So you summon him as just normal Garlic Jr., but then he awakens into the Super Garlic Jr. He is a Heavenly Events sub-leader, but he greatly raises attack, does supreme damage. He has attack and defense 160. Then an additional attack and defense 60% and a medium chance to stun when attacking super class enemies. So obviously if you use him on mostly extreme centric teams in events against super type enemies, he's going to have really, really high stats. He also gives extreme class allies 3 key and attack and defense 40%. So when you think about some of the side banner units we've had recently that have been giving 3 key and attack and defense 40%, they've been to specific categories, whereas this guy is literally extreme class allies. So he becomes almost like this meta's Kid Buu, where you just want to be putting him on every single extreme team that he fits on because of this support. And he can also be strong enough to hold his own as like a 3rd slot floating support unit and not just immediately get you killed when he starts taking hits. He also recovers 10% HP at the end of the turn if he takes a hit, which is good because his defense is pretty solid. So in most events, if he's tanking really well, he's then healing you way more than the damage that he's actually taking, which is super, super useful. So Garlic Jr. is very good. Obviously, he goes into the general pool after this banner, but this banner, I think... It's hard to say to skip this to people because of how good both of these units are. But the problem is, like I said before, just how stacked the rest of the year is going to be. So, very tricky to decide. But I will do a video about the banner and everything as well. So, then of course, in the part 2 of that celebration, we have the LR, Goku and Piccolo. I'll go into them in more detail later. Obviously, you can pause the video and read the wiki if you want to see their entry. They're pretty good, but... they're very niche as like a legendary summon banner LR. You're probably not going to use them on a ton of other teams. I mean, they're only on Full Power, Joint Forces, Movie Heroes, and Saviors. They are a new Saviors leader, but obviously as a summonable LR, it's 4 key 130. So they're not exactly a great leader for that team, but they're a pretty solid unit. They have a costume change, like they're pretty cool. But the most important thing for a lot of people about this celebration, especially if you're free to play and you want all them juicy free stones, there are 2 EZAs as part of this celebration, or at least there were on JP. We have the physical final form cooler, which I know is one that a lot of us have been waiting on. This was one of my most anticipated 120 lead EZAs. I absolutely love physical cooler. He's on a lot of good teams, and I can't wait to start running him again. His EZA makes him very, very good, so I'm really looking forward to getting this. And then we also get the EZA for the LR Gohan. Now, obviously, he was a little bit disappointing to a lot of people, but I mean, like I said, it's another EZA, another 30 stones, even if you're not ever going to use the unit. So I think I did get around to link level 10ing mine, but he's only 79%, but obviously, once the EZA comes out, we will do a showcase and everything and check out, you know, just how well he performs. But, you know, he's definitely, I think, out of all the ones we've had so far, I believe he's generally regarded as the worst summonable LR EZA. But, you know, another EZA, so a ton of content potentially coming up. And like we said, the maintenance is literally less than a week away now. So very, very exciting times for Global. Let me know what you guys think down below. Are you hyped for Gohan? Will you be summoning for him? Will you be summoning just to try and get Garlic Jr.? Are you more excited about the EZAs, or are you like me, very, very excited about Super Battle Road? Even if they change it up and they bring Super Vegeta early, just bring us the Super Battle Road stages. It's been so long, so looking forward to that quite a bit. So let me know what you guys are looking forward to most for the upcoming celebration. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.